Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the finale of Prime Meta League Season 1 as we enter our final week and subsequently our final match, which is our fearless best of 5 playoffs. Get hyped in the chat and keep your butts in your seats as we look to crown the first ever championship in the Prime Meta League. Entering playoffs, we saw Foo Fam with their focus on team fighting, High Alert with their creative picks, Five Fangs with their endless stream of entertainment, Riftwalkers with their regular season dominance, and all were fierce competitors. But only two teams remain, and that is Forge Whale Riders and Team Nautilus. These two teams will enter tonight, and only one team will leave, with that winning team earning the coveted prize of $1,000. The road to the Prime Meta League Championship has not been easy for either of these teams. Both Forge Whale Riders and Team Nautilus were in the losers bracket, where one bad series could have meant their hopes in the grave and their championship dreams destroyed. Even the casters, in all their infinite wisdom, rated these two as the lowest in the collective power rankings. But the casters, the audience, and most importantly, their competitors were proved wrong because these two teams have shown us that they have what it takes to be a Prime Meta League finalist, and they're going to leave everything on the Rift today. Jump straight into the game here. Pretty standard lane assignments, no crazy level 1 cheekiness, so it's all good for now. But yeah, we're just going to have to see how this goes. I was just going to finish my thought from before, but Frozen Ace, if he's able to be creative and get those early ganks off with the pillar, I think, if he targets the bottom lane and gets Kaisa ahead, I think that's, kind of where he wants to look for.
It does look like they're going to be pathing towards the bottom lane. I don't think that we're going to see any ganks anytime soon when it comes to the early game, like the level 3s and 4s. I think we're going to see a double full clear out of both of our junglers. Trundle's ganks in the early game, especially against a bot lane, are really sad. And Wukong too doesn't have any CC, but can deal a lot of damage. So we'll see. Oh, and we got a trade.
Yeah, just an early crash down from King Rolly pressuring Atomic Waldo. Like you said, tattoopotato, Rel is, a little bit better. It's just that Rakan Smolder is such a sad level 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're very clearly getting the push here. Rakan starts Q, which is very standard against the engaged support here. Not being able to take their own W to fight because it's just too dangerous to go in as Rakan level 1.
Yeah, very dangerous. You kind of want that Gleaming Quill for that early heal. Zac and King Rolly are going to hit that early level 2. No aggression from them here, so looks like Ogmush and Atomic Waldo are respecting that power spike. Zacian and the Madman kind of trading like top laners usually do. I think Sion usually wins these until about level 3, but after that, Mordekaiser's usually being able to just like kind of smack down on him and get the passive stacked up without much issue. And then in the jungle, like you said, just power farm until you hit 6. But mid lane is going to be where most of the advantage, as John already has push on Winter.
Yeah, the Orianna does push pretty hard in this lane. We're going to see probably an explosive dragon fight coming out at around 6-7 minutes when both of these junglers are at their level 5s and 6s and have done a couple of full clears. That's what they're going to be aiming for.
Full clear into gank bot. Every jungler's dream.
Red side does have Tribush warded, so I think that they should be pretty safe when it comes to that early Wukong gank. Should it come through, it likely won't, but he might look for like a hover or something around here. There might be a Scuttle Crab fight, though, coming up as Trundle is finishing up his Gromp and Wukong's finishing up the red. Trundle's getting there first with the support of the bot side, so Wukong might just have to be a little bit sad and go to the top side Scuttle, which looks like what's happening.
Yep, Frozen Ace secures the bottom Scuttle Crab as Ryan Base God, is smarter, knows that he has a slower clear, decides to go for
Oh,
that
but look
top
what
Scuttle.
Trundle's doing.
Oh, Trundle looks like, yeah, Frozen Ace might want to contest this. He is running back up through towards top river. I guess he's not taking the reset just yet, but I think it's a little too late as Wukong has secured that and is taking the reset.
Yeah, he's gonna walk up and see that it's already been taken. Now he's actually a little bit slow on the reset. It'll matter a little bit because oh wait, he's not resetting.
Okay. Interesting. I don't play jungle enough to know when you should and shouldn't reset, but yeah, two longswords coming out from Ryan Base God, so we'll have a little bit more combat power early and a faster clear.
Yeah, the faster clear is gonna matter. I don't know if the combat power will matter too much. Trundle, I think what Frozen Ace realized is he was recalling far too late, and needed to just go and clear his camps. Otherwise, they'd be sitting on the map for too long, and he wouldn't be able to get to that level 6 before the dragon spawn.
Yep, Bastion has the early game push, a little bit of a CS lead as well, which is to be expected against against the Scion in the Mordekaiser matchup. So good attempt, keep that Scion down so he can't scale into infinity in the late game. We saw Zach Fair and King Roly take the back, and Ogmush and Waldo take the back to match. So it's going to be just some long swords building towards that Kraken Slayer. We see the pickaxe for Ogmush likely going towards that Essence Reaver, so pretty standard builds from everyone. No complaining about the items yet, but King Roly getting some deep vision in the jungle.
Yeah, I think Frozen Ace is really regretting going to check on that topside scuttle. Now he's pretty far behind in terms of jungle pacing. He is now a full camp and a half behind, almost 2 camps behind. Now he's just about to start hitting his wolves.
Yeah, early
He's
start.
not going for wolves. It looks like he's going to go for vision in the river.
Maybe going for just for that early dragon. His bot lane does have priority, and it looks like everyone's collapsing on it. John is taking the back right now, and Ogmush and Atomic Waldo have a pretty fat wave that they have to finish. And it looks like Ryan Base God is taking the reset, so this is an uncontested early dragon. Nice start, leveraging that bot prio. It's going to be Ocean Dragon taken. Really great, probably the best early game dragon for that sustain. So yeah, that's going to be confirmed by the team of, Team Nautilus.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with how that quickly they made that decision. They realized that Wukong would be recalling. They knew that Orianna was recalling, and so really made that snap decision to use that bot lane prio and the mid lane recall to just get that dragon really, really fast.
Quick dragon early game, leverage that prio. I think it's great to start early dragon stacking because, late game, you do not want to go into late game without that super buff against a Smolder Orianna Wukong and a Scion, right? Just unkillable front line, just so much damage, so much control. Good on them for making good macro decisions as Nautilus, knowing to leverage their advantage.
Yep, and we see the sort of wet noodle fight continuing to happen in the top lane here. Scion is kind of running out of resources, which is a disadvantage that he has compared to Mordekaiser.
Manaless champions, they're so broken. Take him out of the game.
Khan and Smolder are deploying top lane, and Scion is teleporting to the bottom lane. Gonna get a tempo advantage here on the top lane. Kind of trying to bail Scion out of a bad lane, it seems like.
Yeah, but it was timed so that they were spotted on vision, so it just means that the bottom lane of Nautilus can match. So that's just going to be a repeat, just switching lanes.
Yeah, Scion does get a wave to push, and will be able to get it under the tower, I'm pretty sure. So we'll be able to sort of reset a poor lane position that he was in. And they have their strong side here for grub spawn.
Multiple members, and the Scion is walking up, looking for that unstoppable onslaught from the mid lane. I think likely that the Nautilus is going to have to give this up unless King Roly wants to send himself in. The Snot Bubble goes and hits 2, but now the Cyclone in. Frozen Ace is taking solo as Winter's trying to fire back. Frozen Ace taking low as well as the Mom gets called down. Atomic Waldo gets the knockup, and the charge in, the ultimate runs straight into Zacian's TP. Can Zacian use the Death Realm fast enough? I think he got it onto Ogmush. Ogmush is getting run down, but his entire team is running away as Zacian is in the middle of 5. Gets it with another knockup from the Madman. He is just in the bounce house. It's 2 kills for free on the side of Forged Whale Riders as they secure the grubs as their reward. A bit of over-aggression without the players there from Nautilus.
Yeah, the teleport came in, I don't want to say late, but maybe just probably shouldn't have contested the grubs here, knowing that they had all 5 available to them faster than red side.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the Rise was kind of in position to contest that either. I think both Rise and Kaisa, with their short range had to run away from the Wukong, and they're fighting a very struggling front to back, and King Roly doesn't have level 6, doesn't have the Magnet Storm to engage. Just a very hard angle for them to look. I would have preferred if they just kind of sacked this one and wait for a team fight off maybe a first item power spike or a level 6.
It looks like, okay, Nautilus decided not to go back to the bottom lane. Sion is here to defend this wave, which Sion's very good at doing. Sort of getting farm against 80 carries. He is able to just kind of soak it up.
Yeah, I think this is very advantageous for Whale Riders because, Sion's okay with just kind of collecting farm. Mordekaiser does need more gold to be effective. You can't really bully the Sion if you're not next to him, as we see some trading go down, but Madman is just so tanky. Shattering Strike and the full stacked Plasma just does nothing to him. He's happy to be in this lane.
Yeah, he's still 3/4 health, and that was their sort of full combo there. Maybe we'll be able to see some items that have been purchased so far in a minute here. Looking to see where the power spikes are starting to get. Sion is pretty far pushed up, though. Does not hit the stun on King
Roly. He has a 2-level lead on Zackfair, 4-level lead on King Roly. I don't know if the two of them can even 2v1 him here. They're just going to, kind of beat down on this Sion. The Plasma stack is doing good damage. Fully stacked lethal tempo as the heal is up. One more stack of it. Ooh, the Madman just barely gets it alive. Death's Grasp from Zacian misses both targets as Frozen Ace is here looking for a gank.
Yeah, this is Sion's build isn't great for this lane because he does have a lot of MR. Kaisa does do some magic damage, but definitely building for the Mordekaiser lane.
Yep.
So I can see the look.
Is, a little bit ahead in gold, right? A little bit of CS advantage, 88 CS to 81. He's going to catch this next wave, so a bit of a two-level, but we see Winter getting jumped on, hits with everything. The Cyclone and the Shockwave both hit as Frozen Ace just has to watch his mid laner explode. He's trying to get something back on Ryan Base God, but Atomic Waldo is here and supporting. Gets jumped on again. Frozen Ace taking solo. The charm onto multiple members with the quickness. It's 2 free kills picked up in Nautilus jungle as 5 team members with the Whale Riders, they stand together. It is an easy 2-kill pickup, and it's going to be this first dragon for their team, stopping the early dragon stacking from Nautilus.
Yeah, not respecting the early move out of Whale Riders. Team Nautilus gets caught off guard and seemingly give up the dragon and a kill, and 2 kills.
Yeah, felt very disrespectful. I think Winter doesn't even have first item yet when the Oriana's already finished one and has the completed boots, which are very powerful, right? The Trundle doesn't have Trinity Force yet. You're just kind of trying to scrap for no reason. You have no vision, your team's not there. It's just very hard angle to look at. Yeah, a second try from King Roly and Zackfair. Zackfair's putting the bullets into him, but it just does nearly nothing. The Madman has so much HP with Ryan Base God kind of showing up to bodyguard his top laner, but I don't think he was needed. Yeah, this lane swap advantage going heavily in the favor of Team Whale Riders as they're at a 2.5k gold lead.
Yeah, but you can see the theory here. Kaisa does deal a lot of damage to Sion if they're able to free hit on him, and will get even more of that damage once the Kraken Slayer comes in. So a sort of structured team fight could do pretty well for Kaisa.
Frozen Ace going for the gank. The Pillar of Ice hits, smites him to slow him down, but John is so fast with the dissonance, just sprints himself out of there. It's a very hard gank to complete. Yeah, phase rush as well, like you said, just, phase rush plus dissonance. How do you get out of there? How do you get that kill on this Oriana running faster than Usain Bolt? This is not Oriana, this is a real human right now.
And if we're looking at farm, how the lane swap sort of turned out, I think it was good for the Sion. And isn't able to get the interrupt on the ult there. Even in CS, and the bottom lanes are pretty much even in CS too. So I think this is pretty
To
good.
the death realm, Zacian sends Ogmush in. He has a 2-level lead, but Atomic Waldo is kind of fielding when they're out of there. Zacian misses the first obliterate now. Zacian realizes he can't take this fight, gets knocked up, but now we have the backup of the round. Now John's getting jumped on by Frozen and Zach Bear. Killer Instinct into the backline. He's so fast, but one more bullet to the back kills him. Atomic Waldo and Ogmush are now running away from this 2v2. The mom is called down. Atomic Waldo is taken so low. It's a nice look onto the mid laner of Whale Riders as John gets taken down with no flash. He actually burned it in that fight, so great look from Frozen Ace and Zach Fair to secure a much-needed kill on their AD carry.
Yeah, as we see the top laners laning
Going again? Okay. Ooh, I thought they were going to keep going for that, but no, yeah, please continue.
Yeah, with no ult on Zach Fair and no ult on Frozen Ace, there's not really a shot of killing Sion there. It's kind of fun to see the top laners and the supports laning together here. With Mordekaiser and Rel.
Yeah, Rel, I mean, is doing her work, breaking down the resistances. I think both Ogmush used both summoners to get out of that fight with the Mordekaiser. Stops a key back. That might actually be meaningful as this is coming up soon on the Rift Herald. So Zacian still has TP. King Rolly does have the summoner spellbook, but doesn't have teleport equipped. Okay, Zacian's gonna not take the back. He's sitting on a massive mountain of gold because he hasn't backed in a while.
You see a lot of first items coming in. Wukong does have his Trinity Force before the Trundle does, and that's pretty meaningful. Trundle might be backing right now to get it, hopefully, and he does. So, one item spikes are in for every champion that matters. Actually, every champion has their first item, including the supports with their lockets. Interesting that Rakan chose to go locket instead of the redemption that we're seeing a lot of supports pick up. But either way, this Rift Herald fight is probably as even as Nautilus could hope for.
Yeah, I think it's the 2k gold lead, has not moved at all since when it was established. Oof, Zach Fair taking a big chunk from the attack of Orianna. But yeah, they're posturing around this Rift Herald. They might want to fight for it. I think you have to have Zacian take away someone key like the Orianna. Yeah, I think he has to get something on the Orianna. Frozen Ace looking for the pillar to catch any unsuspecting targets. But since they're all posturing here and Zacian decided to go mid, that is going to be first turret taken on the side of Team Whale Riders.
Yeah, which does give them feats because they did get the first 3 kills as well. Yeah, I guess Nautilus just being a little bit inefficient with their decision making, wanted to contest the Rift Herald because they realized that they do all have one item, and their opponents also all have one item, so they're as even as they could hope to be at this stage in the game when 2,000 gold down. So they really wanted to be able to make that play, but they weren't able to pull the trigger in time. Whether that's, Raleigh missing the engage or Frozen Ace or whoever, just not being able to get that engage that they wanted, and Mordekaiser, a fight.
Onto Ryan Basegod as Atomic Waldo runs away. Now Ryan Basegod is in the middle of multiple members. He's getting beat down by the Mordekaiser. One more obliterate. He flashes the wall but still dies. The Chomp, the Bluetooth auto attack gets him over the wall. And that is the jungler dead right before the dragon spawns. That was a great look from Zacian, just flashing over so aggressive with that death round. But we're seeing a TP from John here. King Rolly looking to cut the wave. Zach Bear is here to back him up. I don't know if they can defend this. Realm Warp going in. Who is here? It's Winter and Zacian, but Zacian has no ulti. Winter gets the Rune Prison as Atomic Waldo taking a nice knockup onto King Rolly. King Rolly so tanky somehow, though. As we see, damage is getting traded back. Zach Fair jumps in with the Killer Instinct, but taken so low. Unstoppable onslaught is not blocked by anyone. He runs straight into the Kaisa and gets the kill. Zacian now knocked up by the Decimating Smash and dies for it. King Rolly now taken so low, ripped apart by the command attack into the Dissonance as Winter's the only one left alive. He gets chunked under turret. The Madman is tanking every turret shot. Will he finally die? He will not. And they got the dragon, they got the jungler, but they traded literally everyone else for it, as it's 4 kills for the side of Whale Riders.
Yeah, I liked the thought of defending that tower, but some mechanical misplays as well as just a couple of mispositionings coming out of the Nautilus bot lane ended up making it so that was kind of a disaster.
Yeah, it was a disaster indeed, and I'll let you elaborate on it more on how that team fight went down. But my key thing was that Zach Fair jumped into the backline with, he's only a one-item Kaisa. He can't just rip apart everyone, like Kaisa should at this level just yet.
Yeah, no, Kaisa needs some support to be able to take out the backline here. Can't do it all by herself, which she doesn't have a lot of diving support. Like, there weren't any flanks coming. It was very front to back with how the Rise ult was just plopped down right in front of the enemies. I feel like maybe a flanking Rise ult could have been a bit more effective here. Oh, we got to fight.
Wow. Onto two. King really jumps out and gets alive, but now on the counter strike, Madman getting jumped on, Subjugate on him as Frozen Ace is bonking him, but he flashes, gets the blast cone. Both of them go over the wall. They're airborne. Can Frozen Ace catch up? It looks like he cannot. Zastian locks someone into the death round, but now he's just out of it in a 1v3. King really can do nothing but watch his top laner die. John is taking over this game with the help of his team as the Madman is just playing interference, distracting the rest of the members of Nautilus.
Yeah, Sion is definitely doing what Sion is supposed to do in this game, and we're going to see a Rift Herald charge down on tier 2 turret. They'll probably take it here. I don't think anything Rise can do will stop them.
It is so important because none of these players are at the true item power spike, which I think where Rise and kind of Kaisa are very strong. It's a second Herald charge in, but again, Kaisa just gets instantly deleted by the Cyclone and the Shockwave. Excuse me. We talked about it before, right? The ball delivery will just insta-kill you if you're not positioned well.
Yeah, and sort of this is what I was expecting to happen from draft, is the Wukong Orianna just doesn't let Kaisa play the game. Sure, she can ult, but you can only ult if you have character control, and they just don't let you have it before you're dead.
As we see the Otacon getting tickled here, I don't think they're going to go for it. They are quite ahead, a 7k gold lead at 20 minutes, but I don't think they're as ballsy to go for the Otacon right now with everybody up.
I
if you're
do
in
love
the shoes,
a good Otacon throw.
Yeah, we call it Intacon in this league, as it seems like every team fight is won or lost around that. But Tattoo, what do you think about Nautilus? If you're Nautilus, how do you get back in this game?
You need to get 2 items onto Rise and Kaisa, and I think you give up whatever the next objective is. You've got 2 dragons. You don't need to fight for the next one. You put Rise in a side lane where he unquestionably wins against whoever gets put there against him. If it's a Scion, he can definitely out-wave clear the Scion. If it's the Orianna, he can out-pressure the Orianna and move faster with Realm Warp. So I think you just gotta set up uneven fights using your Rise pressure in the side lane.
Right, the Rise is so good at collapsing on the side lanes. Kaisa is as well with the Killer Instinct, and once they hit 2 items, they're at a huge gold deficit right now, but maybe they can, wait for that somewhat of a parity by hitting 2 items and turn it around. But right now, it seems like Rise is just outranged. The Kaisa can't get into fights. Zacian has been doing very well to kind of isolate targets, but he's 0-3, he doesn't have the gold to be effective, to be a threat.
Yeah, he's sitting here 1 item versus the 2 items of the Scion. Scion is just not really feeling whatever Mordekaiser's trying to do to him right now. And with the rest of the team, Smolder's holding it down mid. No one can move Smolder from mid with how safe he is. No one can move Orianna, it seems, with the support of Rakan and Wukong never leaving his side. So it's really hard to farm up here. That is their win condition, but it's a really hard one to accomplish.
Yeah, they do have the win condition, but can they make it happen? We see 2 items being picked up. Madman gets some bullets chunked into him as Frozen Ace has the flank. No, I think they're just going to rush straight onto this dragon. They do take it down very quickly with the Trundle and the Kaisa, but now it's the Otacon being traded. So they're going to get the objective bouncy, claw some of that gold lead back, but look at the Otacon. It's getting evaporated. This is a permanent buff. It does put Nautilus at soul point, but the permanent buff of the Otacon, the Spirit Blossom petals, giving them a ton of adaptive force and EXP. So it is a good, cross map to look for something. You don't want to go down everything, but still, that is a massive amount of stats going over to the enemy.
Yeah, I think that was probably the best play that they could have made in that moment, trading the dragon for the Otacon. I'm frankly actually a little bit surprised that Whale Riders let them do that with how ahead they are. They could have reasonably fought the Otacon with like 2 champions and sent the rest to defend against the dragon, but they did what they felt was the safer option, which definitely it was the safer option. There's still 8,000 gold ahead, but the threat of that Dragon Soul, the Infernal Soul, could be actually something significant here. It could be the difference between, you know, a Kaisa flying into the back line and one-shotting someone versus not being able to. So that's something to play for now for Team Nautilus.
Exactly, but now we see Zacian flashing on John, hits the Death Realm as we see the Blast Plant, you know, separating the entire team. Zacian can get the kill on John. John flashes out, but he's taken so low. One more auto attack will kill him. It's a trade. Top laner for mid laner. It's a good trade as they get the shutdown. Frozen Ace has to flash out after getting tagged by Mom. A very aggressive look from Zacian to bring it back, but he does get a key kill on the carry of Team Whale Riders. Maybe that's the gold injection that can, you know, stall it out, get what they need as, you know, the Hexblade coming in clutch there for the Mordekaiser. But this Orianna, you know, you can stem the bleeding, but she's about to hit the power spike of the Rabadons very soon.
Yeah, that was actually a lot of attacks coming out of the Mordekaiser there. Was not expecting that attack speed, and I guess the Orianna wasn't either. With that flash ult, he even missed his E and was still able to get that kill. If he hit the E, he probably kills him before the Death Realm ends, and maybe there's able to do something, but he was kind of in the middle of the whole team.
Sure, okay, the Madman's just kind of being a pest here, hitting him with the Decimating Smash, but not much else. Frozen Ace getting a trade on the top, but it is a collapse. It's a TP coming out from the Madman, or sorry, from John. So John and Ryan Basecott are now chasing down Frozen Ace, this mid-jungle duo that we sang their praises on. Cyclone goes out, but it misses. The decoy forward, the subject gate keeps Frozen Ace healthy for a little bit, but John and Ryan Basecott take no prisoners as it's a kill, collapsing. They got the turret gold, you know, bringing back the gold lead a little bit, you know, slightly back, but now it's your jungler dead and Baron is right there. You cannot be doing that as a jungler right as Baron spawns.
Yeah, his team was not there to support him. It was a solo mission, and it turned out to be a solo death as well. They are starting the Baron here, and it looks like Nautilus is just happy to give it to them. No way they can really contest this.
It is an uncontested Baron Asher. That means that the gold lead again swings heavily in the favor of Team Whale Riders as they are at an 8k gold lead. The Madman has the flank on Zac Fair. Can he do anything to escape?
Yeah, Zac Fair just walks away.
Okay, so far so good, but now he's getting collapsed by the rest of the team. John and the Rakan, Atomic Wall pops the quickness. Oh, gets dragged back by the Death's Grasp, but now Zacian is going to be in a 1v3. Can he use the Death Realm fast enough? He uses the Indestructible to keep him alive a little bit longer. Gets Atomic Waldo into Death Realm, tries to bonk him down. He has the Hexblade, he has the damage. Can he get a kill before dying? Atomic Waldo chooses to flash. So it's a flash traded for the life of Mordekaiser. I guess at this point, that's the best you can ask for. But now, with the Baron buff, 5-man strong, they're knocking on the bottom lane base of Team Nautilus.
Yeah, Sion has a full 3 items, and Kaisa only has 2, so ripping through that health bar is not going to be easy. Wow, 1 Q from Smolder takes out a quarter of Kaisa.
Crit heal does so much damage. A single fireball from this Smolder. He drops down the bomb, does so much damage. John now looking in the backline. Maybe he went too far. A flash shattering strike gets him stunned up. It drags him in with the Magnet Storm, but Ogbush is dealing so much damage with the crit build. He has the the 225 execute. If he hits one more fireball, Zac Fair is surely to die here. Now King Rolly looking for an engage. We see the TP from Zacian, but he's taking solo of the Rift Realm Orb into the background as Atomic Waldo is killed. King Rolly is stunning Ogbush as the Madman goes down, but Ryan Basecott is undeterred. He goes into the zombie form and is doing so much damage. King Rolly goes down to Ryan Basecott. Ryan Basecott dies for it, but now it's Winter and Frozen Ace against Ogbush himself. Can he get the Rune Prison? Flashes for it, can't get it. Managed to get the combo, but it's a death on everyone except Frozen Ace. He is the lone survivor out of both these teams. Everyone dies in the bot lane from a beautiful realm warp of Winter. Winter is coming and he brings death with him, and this secures not only objective bounty but Infernal Dragon Soul for the team of Nautilus.
This is what Nautilus was hoping for when they got that Dragon Soul point 5 minutes ago. Oh, but this teleport.
teleport
gone.
from Atomic Waldo. He's kind of not the most menacing player.
down,
Frozen Ace has to
but-
finish this before John shows up. He's bonking it. He has the
Doesn't
damage. He has
have smite.
Titanic Hydra and the Trinity Force. Can he secure this fast enough? He needs to smite it as soon as possible. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have smite. No, it gets stolen by the shockwave of John over the wall. It is just a tragedy as he could not secure that without the smite.
Yeah, that is really hard to see. That was the play that they really needed, and unfortunately, Trundle was not able to take it down in time. Another tragedy for Team Nautilus.
Absolute tragedy. We thought that might have brought them back in the game, but it could not. And now Atomic Waldo gets a knock-up on a Winter. Winter hit up by the Cyclone. He's tanky, but not tanky enough. He tries to run out with the Phase Rush, but he just gets jumped on. One more Nimbus Strike finishes a King Roll. He just absolutely exploded as Ogmush is on 3 items. Winter is not longer here to defend his team as Zacian goes down as well. John on 3 items. They're just a powerhouse, and it is, they had hope in maybe the first bit of this game. The Madman's just tanking the turret. They're gonna get the inhibitor turret. Are they gonna push for the end?
They're gonna end the game here with the... I think Oriana's probably gonna teleport in again to try and help them end the game here. Yep, with full resources. Death Cap, half a Void Staff, so nothing
The damage from Ogmush as we see Frozen Ace and Zac Bear at their final stand. Zac Bear just taken solo. Killer Instinct does nothing as he's ripped apart by Mom. The flames breathe down and melt everyone on the team of Nautilus. Water in this tournament beats fire apparently as game 1 in a dominating fashion. We saw hope from Nautilus, but it was not enough as game 1 again is taken by Forge Whale Riders, who are looking strong in this championship bout.
I do think Victor is like a linchpin for this team comp. And it looks like we're getting into the game right now.
Yeah.
We're going to get a standard spread from both teams.
It is Sejuani top.
Yep.
Forge Whale Riders, Nautilus with the Jinx comp. Jinx really is all their damage, but Jinx herself doesn't have any agency over the game. Because she doesn't make any choices. Her game plan is very defined. Victor is the one champion on Nautilus this game who has actual choices to make. Kaysante's just has to react to whatever the enemy team does. But Maokai and always your jungler has agency, but Victor's the only other person on this map who has like a choice in what he does.
For sure. Especially considering that this mid lane is going to be clear of minions, basically starting at like 4 or 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's prison matchup. Like Victor E and Ziggs Q are both capable of clearing the way without ever interacting with each other.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like we're going to actually start with Lulu showing up to lane late. Not sure if that's intentional or not to try and get their ADC a little bit of extra XP, but it looks like it's not, considering they didn't kill any minions.
Yeah, I think she was trading, harassing the jungler, and got back perfectly in time for lane, so nothing wrong there.
Okay, and we already see Sejuani getting her first couple of procs topside. This looks incredibly annoying.
Like, this bot lane, we're seeing poke. I don't expect to see any kills. I mean, it's Lulu and Seraphine where
Absolutely
there's anybody dying there.
Yeah.
We're gonna be want to be watching the jungler and the top laner for Forge Whale Riders here, because they're really the only ones who have anything to be doing here.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like both junglers are going to be a little bit weird here, which is totally fine. Forge Whale Riders does have really, really good wards for the early game. But in exchange, you're going to be missing wards that are actually covering ganks once the Maokai makes his way bot side. John and Winter are trading mid, but not in a way that's going to put either one of them in danger. And it looks like we're going to have pings out from Nautilus, going ahead and spotting out Ryan Base God heading topside. Sejuani already trying to put the freeze on the K'Sante. Not really sure if we're exactly succeeding, but that seems to be the idea. And bot lane's just going to keep shoving until they get fully poked out of the Jinx end, because that's really all she can do.
Yep, it's very even so far. Everybody's fairly even on CS, although Sejuani's dropping a bit to Kaysanté. But it's just going to be a slow early game for the moment. Hopefully Jarvan will make something happen soon.
Oh, we've got a little opportunities popping up here in their bot lane. But just remembering that both teams are not exactly exerting kill pressure at this point in the game. Zacian does look like he's going to take a pretty reasonable amount of trade here. But he's going to go ahead and knock the second one on the turret. That's 2 turret shots. That's so huge. And that's going to be first blood going over to Zacian. Amazing spot to be if you're the K'Sante in this lane.
Incredible play by Zacian. Just like to know the ranges, to know your very small timers, and know you can get her in tower range there with that pull combo. That's just K'Sante mastery right there.
Not to mention the minions also blocking the Sejuani, and I'm going to credit Zacian for that, even though I'm 100% sure it wasn't intentional. But the minions blocking Sejuani for the extra turret shot was just really, really, really important there. Zach Fair is almost at the point where he's been poked out of lane here, though. This is not a safe space to be if you're the AD carry.
No, I imagine that we're going to see Zach take the back here. They're going to lose, I think, one wave to that, but you gotta. Sejuani is now in quite a rough position because K'Sante, you don't want to see him get a level advantage on you. That is a very scary thing to be looking at. K'Sante even is pretty manageable. K'Sante ahead is very, very frightening.
Not to mention the fact that Negatron Cloak plus Reju beat is actually just like so much effective HP throughout a given lane, right? You've already started Thorn's Ring, so your sustain is already a little bit worse than the K'Sante's. Now it's one of those things where like not even your trades are really going to be doing a lot to this guy, even when you get the good ones.
Is Zacian running magical footwear?
I am unsure. I would assume not with the grasp. Yeah,
but if I think that's the only justifiable reason to not buy boots instead of the bead.
Sure, instead of the bead.
It's boots. You take less damage by not getting hit by skill shots. I mean,
I don't because I don't dodge the skill shots, so I don't buy boots.
Yes, but these players are supposed to be good.
No. You simply tank everything like a grown man, and you deal with it.
Zacian trading with Madman, and it looks like we're going to get Forge Rail Riders securing this dragon uncontested. Maokai was just not there in time to contest. He was on top side of the map.
It's a hard spot to be for Maokai, I would imagine, though, because despite the lead,
bot side camps are up. He wants to be on the bot side of the map. I think he's just a bit slow on the reaction on this one.
For sure, but it's also one of those things where like Maokai doesn't exactly have the best clear, and it doesn't really get better until he finishes a Bombi Cinder, although he does have the Cinder.
Yeah, he does have the Cinder.
But also his bot lane took a back that would put them arriving to lane as dragon spawns, which isn't exactly an optimal position if you're looking for cryo, especially considering that Ogmush and Atomic Waldo have successfully built a freeze, and they're turning it into a slow push here. Just not a dragon you can easily get as a juggler, I would imagine.
No, it was a good timer from Forge Rail Riders and a good shot to notice that dragon was theirs for the taking there.
For sure. And capitalizing on those small things, right? That's how you get more and more advantage as the game goes on. And it's worth noting, like, speaking of small things, like, Sejuani is having to use a lot of her mana to farm. Maybe that's one of the reasons why we don't see her in lane as much, is that she has such a
her mana
pool. Yeah.
That's how we keep junglers out of lane is we make their mana atrocious.
Yep.
Kane's
mana is bad. He can only cast every spell 7 times before he's out of mana at level 6.
I play lane Kane. You cast E twice before your first back. You get 2 E's.
But E doesn't do damage, so like why are we casting it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Lane Kane is kept out of lane by the fact that he starts the game as half a champion and has crippling mana problems. Otherwise, he
half a champion thing seems
strong.
A little bit more critical.
No, it's the mana.
Oh, it's okay. Sure, my fault.
Kane's off meta. He's almost there. If his meta was better, he would absolutely be playable top lane. We are seeing the Maokai go in.
It's going to match, but then we're also getting some really well-timed TPs off from the side of Forge Rail Riders in order to keep this gank from really happening. Looks like they're going to use the top laner's time in order to get grubs, which is going to mean that the Madman is going to be playing perma-weak side this entire game.
Very clean choice from Forge Rail Riders here to just immediately decide, well, we're not contesting bot tower. We're just going to trade this for grubs, which I think is a good decision. Kaysante getting more gold by taking plates off of this bot tower is like not ideal, but I think you're very happy to trade that for the permanent upgrade of grubs on Nautilus.
Well, we love a man who knows what he wants, right? Like, this is just good, clean, responsive macro, which is something we haven't seen from every team at this tournament, but might be why these teams are actually still here and other teams aren't.
Jinx has cleanse, I just noticed.
Jinx,
okay,
yeah,
that's a very,
very, very cleanly. This kill is going to go over to King Raleigh. Oh my god!
He's not dead!
He's healing so much. Zach Fair is now in trouble. Ryan Basegod coming in from the side. He has Flag and Drag and the ulti. Is he going to go ahead and pop all of it? He's going to do his best. He uses the flash. He misses the ulti. He's going to be able to hit it. He's trying to get out. King Raleigh already spent his. Not going to have enough CC to kill Ryan Basegod at a turret, and that's going to be absolutely huge for Forge Rail Riders. Really responding well to the dive that Nautilus was originally trying to pull off with their own rotation from the jungler.
Incredible timing and just a very, very good thing to happen.
Oh, and it looks like we're going to find another catch onto the Madman here. Poor guy is just really, really feeling it, playing this weak side spot.
Yep. Also, do not go Sunfire Cape in.
Get the CS, get the CS. We got the CS.
That's the correct choice. Do not go Sunfire Cape into Kaysante. I don't know why we're rushing Sunfire into this team comp. Don't do this.
No notes. Don't really know why either. You're absolutely right, top keeper.
Buy the Bomby Cinder. Just sit on it. You can buy
Bomby
better
Cinder
items.
is a really good item.
Yeah, it makes sense. You don't want to. She's been spending all of her mana on clearing the wave.
Yeah,
exactly. You don't need to finish the thing.
No, you really don't.
Into Kaysante Victor.
There should be like a guidebook for competitive League of Legends as to like the items you need to finish and the items you don't, and we should just call it Bramble Best.
It changes every patch. I mean, for a long time, if you were actually throwing the game, if you weren't buying Morella Nomicon first on literally every mage.
Oh, but that was known, right? It's the little things that they don't know that really upset us, right? It's when people don't sit on Oblivion Orb for 20 minutes, not recognizing that Morella Nomicon is like a highly inefficient item without Grievous Wounds. Like,
yeah,
come on, guys, what are we doing? Like, we know numbers. All right, but anyways, looks like we're gonna get a rotation on Dragon.
Completely uncontested Dragon.
Looks like it's gonna be uncontested. Malachi throwing out an ulti, which is actually gonna lead to potentially a couple of kills coming out here.
Seraphine's going
all
down.
of their team. Seraphine's gonna go ahead and disappear.
Yeah, Seraphine's gonna stand still, rooted for 5 seconds as her papered body disintegrates. Very, very good choice for Malachi to just go.
They did breathe on her heavily, so she died. This is an excellent response from the J4, finding a really good spot to get Ogmush just a little bit more gold. That Jinx Rocket is going to clear, but that's going to be another kill going over to Ogmush, putting the gold in the right people's pockets. Ryan Basegod is going to get credit for the kill onto Zach Fair, and we got an engage here on top lane. Can Sejuani compete with the Cassante damage? She really can't. Bomby Cinder not doing enough work here, but finding solace in her turret. Excellent sequence there coming out from Forge Rail Riders, in my opinion, picking up 2 for 1. Being able to get that gold back onto Ogmush that he gave up originally. So,
yeah, when you're playing a Jinx comp, you don't want to see your Jinx dying this much early. Their only strong choice, their only strong champion here is Zacian, really, and Zacian is making
hay of the Sejuani. Honestly, he is 30 CS ahead with an excellent wave.
Is that a Kainic Rooker?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What are we doing?
No. The item's good because Sejuani does magic damage, right?
I'm sorry.
So
what is
this? The magic damage.
What are you smoking? What crack are we smoking, Zacian?
I did not read the Sejuani page that closely. I actually don't know.
Where is your sheen, dog?
You don't need it.
Sejuani does do mostly magic damage, but it's so pointless to build into that. It's like looking at Ornn and going, oh, I need armor to deal with Ornn damage.
What you do? Ornn is so strong. It does so much damage. That's like 10%.
Where is your sheen, dog? Kaysante player without sheen, actually just naked.
No, this is pacifist Cassante. You don't understand. This is Cassante of no violence.
Well, you know, I think Forge Rail Riders has a really excellent chance to win this game because their keeping this Jinx down really well. I mean, she's about... I think she's even on gold with the Ashe. It's hard to tell, but I believe that she is...
slightly behind. She's slightly ahead, but not a lot, and not an unfixable amount. Excellent gate here coming out from the Maokai. Winter's taking a ton of damage, though. That's going to ultimately end up trying to be a trade, and it looks like we're going to go ahead and have John getting out of there. Ryan Basecott's going to be able to walk away pretty clean. Maokai just doesn't have enough damage by himself to be able to kill him. And that's going to be just another solid move from Forge Rail Riders with a really good counter gate.
Victor with the Blackfire Torch. That's what we need to buy.
I think Blackfire Torch is fine.
It's not, because
it does so much damage.
No, it doesn't. There's no damage. But Victor needs to do damage here. Victor needs to do damage. If Victor had bought Ludens or Lichbane, they get the kill in that gank.
Oh, sure. No, you're probably right about that.
I have that headache.
I mean, how much bonus damage does Blackfire do, though? Like, it is a lot, right? Like, as the game goes on. It maybe doesn't have the same spike that Ludens does. But I would imagine if the game goes as long as they want it to go, Blackfire eventually is a little bit more valuable, no?
Blackfire Torch doesn't represent more damage value than equivalent purchases until the dot has been ticking for, like, a total of 20 seconds across however many champions. It's a team fight AoE item and meant to deal with beefy bruisers and tanks. So I see the thought process because we are into Sejuani and Jarvan. Yeah. But your job isn't to kill the Sejuani or the Jarvan. You're playing Victor. Your job is to kill Ziggs, Ashe, Seraphine. Okay. You have Jinx. Jinx is there to kill tanks. Is what Jinx is for.
I'll say I'm a little bit more with this Blackfire Torch than maybe you are, but I've been wrong before, brother.
It's not the Kanik Brooker in top. It's a suboptimal choice, but a definitely defensible one.
Not that anybody would actually troll with are really, really important.
No, I think Zacian is definitely, like, I see the thought process. It's not fully realized.
I see the thought process. I see the hamster running on the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and it looks like we've got an all-out coming in from Zacian, and
for 4 damage.
And Gene looks really good here, man. Like,
this is why you buy an armor item first on Kesante. By the way, it is not just because most top laners are AD. It's because everything in the game that isn't a champion does physical damage. You can't tower dive an armor. Oh my god, that's a big coming out.
Yeah,
Ashe, get Ashed.
Yeah, I love Ashe.
Should have sidestepped
it. They're so funny. Yeah, should have flashed, dude.
I mean, if you get hit by the Ashe, the cross-map Ashe ult, and you're not in the middle of a fight, it's because you weren't paying attention. I mean, you can see the arrow, you can dodge it, but it is very hard to notice just random.
Yeah, but I'm just vibing, you know? Oh, this is a really good Seraphine ulti, though.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God. Huge. That's a dead mount.
Ziggs did 3 damage.
Batman coming in from the back, finding but that Jinx has cleanse. He has to know that.
Very big.
We're going to end up with the kill on Raleigh here, but John is really in danger. That's going to be a J4 coming in, but the damage is interrupted. The all-out is going to go ahead and pull J4 all attached to his Nexus. Oh my god, we're ultimately left for 2 people standing on the side of Nautilus in exchange for 1 on the side of Forge Rail Riders.
Yeah, and that's why you don't like seeing J4 when you're playing Jinx, because he can just kill himself to kill you at any time.
He got none of the damage from his ulti, and it's still 100% killed the Jinx. Oh my god, Zacian worked here though, but he's still gonna get
that that Seraphine would have been dead under his own tower if he had Sheen in that fight. He is going to buy the Iceborne Gauntlet here. This should have been first item, but we're back on track now.
But see, if he had Sheen, he wouldn't have had the 250 shield from Rookern to stop all the magic damage coming from Ziggs. So
he took 3 tower shots in that fight with no
who's winning, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, who's getting the dub here?
And this is the critical thing. It's why you have to buy armor more so than MR as your first purchase on tanks, is because towers do physical damage.
Yeah, for sure. You being able to get your dives off earlier is obviously extremely valuable, especially in games like this, where like both these teams have showed throughout the season that they have a strong willingness to do that. The Madman not looking super healthy up top. Definitely going to have to back off of this wave. But let's talk about that flank from him was really impressive considering the spot he's been in this entire game.
Oh, absolutely. This is one of the advantages of the Sejuani pick, is that even though it's a kind of a cheesy lane pick, it's still Sejuani. You
You're
still press
valuable.
hard.
Yeah, you're still very
you still press the Sejuani. It's a tank.
And not
And
just a
because
tank, like a very good team fighting CC oriented tank that just happens to have some cheesy links.
Because her passive provides her with so many free tank stats, she still remains a reliable tanky engaged champion even on low econ. That's why she's so strong as a jungler. So
Exactly.
even if she gets behind, she can still do fine. Sunfire is like not.
Oh, another Ash gank. Oh no, Winter.
Okay, first time.
This time it's Zach Bear.
First time is a freebie. Second time, that's your fault.
I believe J. Cole said, first time fool me once, second time won't fool me again.
You even got the stuttering, awkward cadence correct.
Yeah, I got you. Like,
All right, Forge Wheel Riders.
And
Forge Wheel
here's an
Riders put
all-out.
on a lot of pressure on the Nautilus team here. This is.
I swear the Cassante is hitting the Sejuani for fun. Like, they're not doing anything to each other. They're just like, oh, this seems entertaining to like hit my buttons on something.
Yeah.
Big whiff there on the charm, but that turret is ultimately going to go down for the zoning. J4 using his ulti to peel himself. He's ultimately he's going to give his life though. Which
That's
is
not who you want, but
tier 2. Oh,
yes.
John is going to go ahead and give the
Ziggs.
kill on the back end. This slow
The
from Axe
Jinx.
is actually huge. Cassante on the
Oh,
side,
the Jinx
and he's
stops
just
the
going to walk into a freaking
Forge Whale Riders are making this look like you chase Singed. Like they're just running and slowly dying. And now
And it's like the
Oh
third
my
time
God,
it's
we have
happened.
Sejuani
It's gonna be
ult.
that Cassante for sure.
No.
Oh, I forgot how broken All Out is.
Kesante, Chinese text, 400 CS, D1B.
Oh my god.
200 years, champion design.
Cassante only has like 7 abilities, no? Like, that's not...
Kesante's kit isn't even that overloaded. It's just complex as hell for no reason.
Yeah, it's I think League of Legends is less a victim of power creep and much more a victim of complexity creep. Like, characters
Yeah, absolutely.
are so hard nowadays. Look at Jinx. Jinx has like 3.5 abilities.
Like, one of the most enduring pro play champions is Porky, the least complex champion ever designed by human hands since he lost the package.
Oh, the package was absurd. The package was so... I didn't like the package. The package was so
bad.
ham-fisted. Yeah.
Package raw.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Really,
We're
really
taking a
proactive
really
take.
aggressive move on the cockshot here.
But I kind of like it. They figured out that, like,
No, this is great
reasonably
macro
speaking,
timing.
they really can't have vision here. This is just a good timer. Unless John finds vision, they're really not going to... Yeah, no, this is just a really solid play, and they're going to follow it up with a dive onto the Ziggs. Looking to try and get him under turret. They're going to land on the CC. Ziggs is going to hit the bomb right back.
God,
and
what a
he's definitely gonna
Seraphine
have to
ult!
farm.
What a Seraphine
my
ult!
God.
Jesus!
Seraphine ult is going to take out the entire team.
And we still have it.
Follow up.
Okay.
They're going to find kills on every single player. This is just
All
going to be an ace coming out for Forge Rail Riders. 21 minutes of the game, and it's already looking to be the
Forge is going to take this one. Their team fight, we didn't address this, but Forge Whale Riders team fight is very frightening if they're ahead, because that amount of CC when they're ahead is the team fights become like formulaic. We've seen the same fight happen multiple times from the side of Forge Whale Riders. We keep seeing Ash Arrow come down mid and take out Zach. We keep seeing the exact same Maokai engage.
Turned around, yeah, like
it's formulaic because
Charm and an ulti, like
what can you do about it as Nautilus? They're stat checking. We've entered the point where Forge Whale Riders is comfortably head enough on a simple enough composition that they can just stat check every team fight.
No, for sure. And what you have to do as Nautilus, is to make those macro outplays like they were doing at the Otacon, but they're just getting a little bit too far ahead of themselves when they find those small advantages, right? If they took that Otacon and they walked away, that's a solid place to be, right? But just that little bit of greed it takes to go for that Ziggs dive, and they did get what they wanted, they just didn't understand the consequences of their actions in the macro sense.
They're also, it's just team fight positioning. Let's not all stand in a big line.
No.
That fight could have gone okay for Nautilus. There was there was a universe in which they take an even fight or even a slightly advantageous one there, and it's the one where they don't all stand in a line in front of Seraphine.
I think Tattoo Potato is the guy who says don't stand in their circles. They are standing in a lot of their circles.
It's the classic thing that you shout at your friend when you're playing WoW, don't stand in the fire.
No, the red circle is good though. Like the red circle, red is healing. I've heard that from my friends in China where their stock market goes red when it's up. Finally, a whiff on the Ash Arrow. A lot of damage being spent on Kasante. Maybe too many resources there.
Why are we J4 ulting? Why are we J4 ulting Kasante? Like, what's he gonna do? He's just gonna leave.
He's just gonna stand there menacingly and walk away.
Sejuani is split pushing. Does she have TP up? Her TP is down, so I don't like seeing this. Wait a second.
I didn't realize this. This is TP Ignite Sedge.
Yeah, it's lane cheese. It's lane cheese.
Oh my god, we are actually performing solo queue shenanigans in our Prime Meta League. This is Prime Meta League, guys.
I just want to say, don't be split pushing when you don't have your TP up.
No, for sure. But I also don't think. I also have a feeling that they're anticipating that Nautilus doesn't exactly have the best timers, nor is Nautilus particularly incentivized to over-engage for fear of somebody showing up at the wrong time because they are so behind statistically, right?
Yeah, but I mean, realistically, what should have happened there is we should have just lost mid tower because Sejuani was never looking for the team fight here, and Maokai ult goes out.
Oh, huge Seraphine ulti as usual from Atomic Waldo, but he's much more isolated than he usually is from the rest of his team. Zacian is eventually going to go down, but he's soaking so much damage. Ryan Base God is going to find himself on the front lines trying to protect John. Madman is going to find a stun off the multiple people, but they're ultimately going to find a way to peel away. John is alive, doing a ton of damage, and everybody's just barely alive on the side of Nautilus, but alive enough to get resets on the Jinx. Zach Fair's trying to auto-attack his way out of the John situation. That was just Madman and Winter left. Oh my god, a 4-for-4 trade after an extended team fight. Madman is looking for it. Madman wants it all. Madman the damage. Madman is looking for Winter. He wants it so bad. He's going to find the end. Winter is coming out ahead. Huge fight for Nautilus.
All
Even though it's a little bit of gold, they're showing that they're still in the game.
Forge, I know I said you guys could just stat check, but I didn't mean it literally. You still have to hit your abilities. Okay.
We're limit testing.
That was a very sloppy fight from Forge Rail Riders, taking fights split across a wall like that in a position where nobody has, where your Ashe and your Ziggs can't contribute damage while Sejuani is diving is just, it's just not the team fight that you're supposed to have. It's just not good. Don't do that.
It's so easy to say don't do that, but so much harder to say I will do that anyways, you know?
I do like that Ashe is actually purchasing her armor pen item third. Thank God someone's not losing to Shopkeeper. Although I don't know what the PD second is. Is that how Ashe builds? I'm not.
I know that it's it's the standard popular build on Ashe.
Okay, yeah, I know Ashe has like whack scaling because of her Q and passive. So
exactly. Attack speed's a little bit more valuable to her. Oh my god, huge pick on Zach Fair. Arrow's gonna come in, the Lulu ulti's down. Ryan Base God is just wailing away. Maokai's gonna try and ulti to get him out, but it's not enough. Zach Fair's gonna go down. There's too much range on the side of Forge Whale Riders. John just pouring in damage. They're gonna try and kite out to Zacian. Madman is almost unstoppable here. He's gonna find another ulti straight onto the Maokai, who's so low. Zacian is gonna make it out. And ultimately a 2-for-0 in favor of Forge Rail Riders. Just another team fight win. Oh my god, Madman's looking for it all!
He is a Madman.
Not remotely stoppable, and that's a dragon going over.
That's Cloud Soul. That's going to be Cloud Soul. That's unbelievably huge for Forge Rail Riders, and that's really what I mean about the J4's Jinx interaction. Like, no one else was even on screen. Jinx literally had to stand AFK inside of the J4 ult for a solid 6 seconds and wait to die to Ziggs from 6 years away.
I was gonna say J4 is not even at the point where he's still like actually one-tapping Jinx, but Ziggs being like within 7,000 units of the character is enough to get the one shot.
Yeah, Forge Rail Riders is going to secure both major map objectives, leaving them with Dragon Soul, Cloud Soul, the most important, the most critical one, and Baron buff. They are fully in control of this game. They're going to reset, and they can do whatever they want here.
Despite some sloppy team fighting in the previous fight, that one looked pretty clean, especially considering that it started out with Ryan Basegod. Arguably, I don't think he was, but being so far out of position in comparison to the rest of his team, just understanding that if he finds the Jinx is dead.
And I mean, you're J4. You have flag and drag. You're supposed to be 60 miles away from everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I think it was.
You're the dive guy. Oh, and here's an ulti that's going to go straight into the backline. Here's a jungler who's not super tanky. Seraphine ulti's going to hit the backline as well. Ogmush is going to go ahead and take Frozen Ace down. He lets out a Desperation ulti. This is probably going to be the final march, the walk of shame for Nautilus as they retreat into their Nexus. J4 is going to get in, but he's going to proc the Jonis on the Victor. The damage is finally not going on Zach Fair, but they're just so far ahead that they're stat checking him. Seraphine's going to land a couple of snares, another flag and drag onto the backline. Zacian is the only one left alive, and he's going to stand in the Nexus while he watches the Forge Rail Riders take down the map, the inhibitor, the turrets, and the rest of the game.
Ziggs looking disgusting here, but I do want to say John did an excellent job on Ziggs. Very impressive Ziggs performance. Being a bit propped up by the team comp of Nautilus being unable to touch Ziggs, but very strong performance from John. And that's how you deal with the Ziggs comp.
Anyways, we're here in the game. We see a ward going on the Raptors. On both sides, definitely both teams have pretty similar ideas of how they want to start out the game. Just spotting out where the junglers are going to start.
Right, it is. Everyone in chat, get excited. Squids up or whales up as we go into game 3 here. Will Whale Riders be able to complete the clean sweep, or will the team Nautilus be able to drag down their opponent and bring it back for one game? Let's see how it happens, as Zach Fair and King Rolly already have some early push. I think the Caitlyn's very strong at early levels if you're able to stack the headshot. So it's up to them to kind of take control of this lane.
Yeah, and you know what my prediction was for a 3-1, so I'm definitely biased caster here rooting for Team Nautilus. So we'll see if my prediction is right, and if Caitlyn can actually take over that lane. Wild enough, Leona is playing really far back against the Poppy here. They aren't shoving. Sivir seems to be able to shove quite well against this Caitlyn lane.
Yeah, the level 1 Ricochet, nothing to scoff at, but I thought Leona would want to walk up a little bit more, maybe look for something like, an early Zenith Blade, go in and get some damage, but it looks like they're just going to give up push, so a bit worrying in the early game, but maybe at the level 3 power spike they will get something done. Winter getting pressured in this melee versus ranged matchup, as, it looks like Zacian has early push on the set like we expected. Yeah, we're just going to have to see which one of these lanes gets pushed first, as the early ganks are going to be a big deal.
Yeah, but like we said, we're probably not going to see any early ganks, though our junglers are pathing from bot to top, recognizing, at least Frozen Ace, recognizing that bottom lane is going to be pretty hard to gank for until level 6. In terms of the Leona positioning, I think... Oh, here we go, a fight!
Okay, we got a nice trade from Winter onto John.
Wow,
chunks him out. John can't really break through that shield of Durand much. So a great trade from Winter, knowing that he has the advantage in those trades, as John's already half health. Winter is low on mana, though.
Man, Galio's pretty cool, huh? The double passive proc there is definitely the Galio bread and butter. And was able to get both of those off despite getting Aurora getting the invisibility and the little jump out. So very, very good trade with the phase rush out of Winter.
Yeah, Winter picking a pretty good rune to, kite back in and out. I think once they get that Spectre's Cowl, they'll be happy. Zacian getting a very early lane advantage now. Frozen Ace does have prio to do what he wants, so he's going to go for an early reset as Winter spots out Ryan Basegod in the mid lane. Ryan Basegod looking towards to his bottom side camps, just looking for that second clear.
Yeah, and now, unlike the first game that we casted together, Frozen Ace is back on the map first with double amp tome. So remember how we talked about them not having enough damage? Zach is saying, hold my goo, and is going for an AP adaptation here in the build.
I do indeed, but it's actually, I miscast earlier, but it's actually Ryan Base got securing both of the Scuttle Crabs, so it was the reason that he went straight down was not because to get to his camps, it's because he knew Frozen Ace could not contest him on the crab, so it's just 2 crabs from him, early CS lead, but now we see Frozen Ace looking for a lane gank, but Zach and Rolly have to, they have to push this out if they don't want to get spotted.
I think he might have been spotted. Maybe he didn't go close enough, I'm not sure. He is sort of behind in tempo a little bit on the Volibear, which is to be expected. Volibear hasn't backed yet, but is quite a few camps ahead in terms of the farm.
Right, but he does have that item advantage, so let's see if he can leverage it for a gank. I think John's been pushing up very far most of the game, only about half mana, so maybe he could look there. King Rolly and Zach Fair not really abusing the range, and Zach Fair did go for the first strike. I'm not sure how much gold he's got out of that Maroon so far, but again, that just speaks to the lack of consistent damage for this team. I think Zacian has to get ahead, and Frozen Ace, good itemization to realize that he doesn't have enough damage in the mid game, so maybe buying a Proto Belt or something like that to advance that damage number.
Yeah, we're not really playing too aggressive in this lane. I know that obviously the Leona can get blocked by the Poppy and all that stuff, but I think that the Caitlyn should be with like face checking and just going in the face of Sivir with her 150 extra range basically. I think it's actually only 100, I think. Anyways, the point is she has a lot of range on the Sivir and should be using that to their advantage, but they're even in CS right now, even in every, category that matters. Caitlyn did take cookies, so I'm just wondering why they're not trading more aggressively here.
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly right. As a player that also plays bot lane, I bet the viewers are probably like, this guy says he plays everything, he has to be lying. But I do play a lot of bot lane as my secondary main, and it just seems like Caitlyn, as this champion, you are not effective unless you have bio, unless you have that gold advantage. You want to be constantly pushing up, abusing your range to get plates, to get harassed. Your opponent should not be able to breathe when you're playing the Caitlyn, but right now it's just been a bit too passive from them. I'd like to see them get a little more aggressive because Zach Fair needs that gold to be effective.
Yeah, they definitely weren't able to get the advantage that they're looking for. Of course, the Leona is not necessarily the strongest champion at the level 1, so maybe that makes sense from that spot. But once Leona gets level 3 and has all their abilities, especially their W, they're just so insanely tanky that I would expect them to be looking for fights. But anyways, we see an even lane state coming out of here, and Caitlyn looks like they're going for the Collector build, which is really interesting. I'd like to see how that fares against this fairly tanky team composition.
Yeah, Collector is more of an item you want to buy against squishy targets, so, I don't want to harp on too much again and disrespect Zach Fair, but yeah, a bit of a mis-itemization again. It seems like he's allergic to the Yuntal, as we saw last game as well, but I think against a tank comp, so many bruisers with the Cho'Gath, who's going to be full tank likely, against the Poppy, who's very tanky, against the Volibear, who's also, got a lot of health to work with. I think you want to go Yuntal because it doesn't look like you're going to be able to use that Collector effectively. Oh, we see King Rolly in the mid lane, but he's 3 levels down on John, just hits him with the stun. John is not scared whatsoever.
No, when Leona doesn't have the level 6, not really a lot of chain CC that can happen there, especially when her Zac is way far behind her, fighting a different jungle camp at the time. It looks like they're just going to be completely giving up second neutral objectives. Really puts them behind in the feet race.
Wow, yeah, just 2 neutral objectives given up for free, no contest. I'm a bit worried here. Maybe they've kind of lost their mojo, but Nautilus giving up everything. You'd think with a pushing Caitlyn lane, with an early ganker like Zach, you want to be very aggressive on the map early, but it seems like they're a bit too passive. I think they need to make things happen before this Sivir scales very hard. This Aurora will eventually one-shot your carries. You have to make something happen with the champions you have that are so stacked for the early game.
Yeah, and actually Zach is building for the early game here as well, with the one-shot Zach build coming out here. I'm really excited to see this happen once.
First
Oh,
gank
here we
as
go.
Frozen Ace goes in, Elastic Slingshot hits nothing but a nice Solar Flare, but it's between worlds. Can John get to the other side? He does. Jumps across. It gets him safe, so it's just the ult invested for the ult of Leona, so a trade there. But John, you know, is still not dead. There's still no kills here as we see the dive getting spotted by Atomic Waldo. Frozen Ace is here, but he's not that tanky as Ryan Base God rotates. King Rolly gets stopped by the Steadfast Presence. The Frozen Ace can't really get in due to the Steadfast Presence. Ogmush is here now. Call of the Hunt. King Rolly is likely to die here as he gets chased down. Blast Cone to the enemy base. You're running in the wrong direction as the kill is given over to Ogmush. First blood at just about 10 minutes. So first blood going over, first 2 objectives going over. Everything is lining up for Whale Riders right now.
Yeah, might have been over before we loaded into this game with how it seems like the team Nautilus is actually playing here. They're just kind of giving everything. They're going for plays that don't really make a whole lot of sense. Like once the Zach E misses there, I feel like you don't really try for the rest of that play. Unfortunately, like if we're thinking about that gank, nope, never mind, not gonna hit. If we're thinking about that gank, you really need to hit the Zach E, or else the rest of your CC can't land because Zach Q can't follow up with no other champions in there. We've got the support in the top laner fighting in the bottom lane for vision here as we've swapped lanes with the dragon coming up soon. AD carries just taking over the mid lane, both of them at 1 item. No advantages here for either side, significantly outside of the neutral game, which is actually a pretty big change from what happened in the previous 2 games where Team Nautilus was really far behind. Oh, big engage here coming out of
Frozen Ace. It's a flash out of the Solar Flare. A nice look from Frozen Ace. Gets that key summoner away from the AD carry right before the spawn of the dragon. Does this mean they can contest? We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think that could be their window. Sivir not having flash means they can only get out of 1 of the crowd controls with their spell shield, which could make the difference.
You're getting bullied in the lane here between worlds. Hits from John. John's just poking him out, but it's likely he doesn't have enough damage to kill him. Winter, I'd like to see him trade back a bit more aggressively because on Galio you have so much base damage with your champion, and you have so much magic resist built in to your champion's champion design. You have the Spectre's Cowl. You can afford to fight John's Aurora because you have sustain, but she does not. So, just a lot of apprehension that I'm worried that Nautilus just don't have the confidence after losing the first 2 games to make things happen in this 3rd one as they're setting up around the dragon.
Yeah, Winter was playing more aggressive in lane, but now that they've moved to the side lane, it seems like John is just a lot more confident on the champion and is able to make their plays happen. Maybe Winter was just like, I'm so close to my item, I don't really want to throw anything here, and we're going to make this dragon play. Galio walking down mid.
Dragon is started, the trap line is set, but Galio is rotating. John does have the TP, chooses to start the TP now as the Madman walks up, tries to get a Rupture on Zacian, hits him. Zach Fair looking for some pokeback, but look, the bullets do 0 damage. Elastic Slingshot gets stopped by the Steadfast Presence of Atomic Waldo. Heroic Charge into the wall. He gets rooted up. He does not have it up anymore, but they just don't do any damage to him. The ulti was expended too as the Showstopper into the back line. A nice multi-man stun into a multi-man taunt. Frozen Ace now in the back with the Elastic Slingshot. 1 shot on Ogmush. The flash missing is so important. Now Hero's entrance into Frozen Ace as it hits multiple people. Now John tries to get the kill on Caitlyn but can't as it's traded back over as Zacian dies to the Madman. John 1v1ing Frozen Ace as Atomic Waldo's taken low. Zach Fair lands a Peacemaker to get the kill, and now a double taunt onto the backline again as Ryan Base God is scrapping with Winter. As the Rupture goes out, the Madman is still alive, and the Stormbringer is on top of Zach Fair's head as Frozen Ace tries to get the double man stun. He gets it, but he's in the cell division. King Rolly is getting taken low. John's still alive. Ryan Base God is still hitting, and the Caitlyn does not do enough damage. Between Worlds hits onto him dead center. He's so low. 1 more attack will do it. The 2 full pecks cleans him up, and now it's a full wipe of Team Nautilus as they go down in that team fight, and they lose this 2nd dragon in what must be a heartbreaker for them.
Yeah, this is kind of what we said would happen in the draft. Caitlyn and the rest of them would be able to do some damage right off the hop. but they would quickly lose that damage, especially when we're going first strike collector Caitlyn. She just doesn't have what it takes to punch through the front line. And the Bruisers just walk down the rest of the team with Aurora at their back.
Yeah, maybe if you have the Yuntal Wild Arrows, maybe you have lethal tempo even, you can get that stacking on-hit damage, you have the crit chance, you have the attack speed to bully this front, or sorry, not bully, but like break into this front line, but you just don't have anything. And Zach does have the first item, it is the Proto Belt, but it's not a lot of base damage. There are very tanky Bruisers, and I just feel like the itemization is coming back to bite them.
Yeah, Volibear's not that tanky yet. He has the Cosmic Drive, so there's a little bit of help there, but mostly it's the AP and the sort of sustain, which Caitlyn can deal with. So it'll just be a matter of, can they get that one-shot off? I think Set really got an amazing engage. Zacian is playing incredibly these games. It's great to see out of this top laner, but unfortunately, the team fight kind of got away from them. Oh, here we go.
And just hits.
And this is what we were expecting to see with the Caitlyn and the Zac damage coming out really fast.
One gets the Poppy back in, but Aurora picks up a kill back, so it's kills trade both. A 2-for-1 bot lane of Whale Riders do go down, so it's a nice look. It gets some more gold.
Yeah, definitely some more gold coming out of the coming out onto the Caitlyn. 2-1 now, is able to hopefully purchase up that Infinity Edge soon. Have that 2-item spike, where Caitlyn really can deal some damage with those crit headshots. I think what happened there, which was really nice compared to the last fight, is they really did one-shot that Sivir really fast. They really got, and the Poppy as well. They got the engage, and they were able to disengage and reset up their battle lines. That's what Team Nautilus really needs to do. They don't want a sustained fight. They want to have several smaller engages.
Yeah, I agree with that. So you want to kind of chunk them out. I don't think you win in the extended fights with your team composition. If you see a trade onto John, I think Winter just looking to bully him a little bit. That's what I want to see, though. Winter can go for short trades, run out with the phase rush. Oh, he's going for it again. Hits the Justice Punch. As we see Elastic Slingshot. Frozen Ace does. Oh, he hits the stretching strikes, but he has no target to pull John back to. Now Atomic Wallow is here. The TP comes out from Zacian. The charge in the wall does not stun. Winter's taken low. Frozen Ace is low. Between Worlds hits onto both of them. They're taking so much damage as King Rolling cannot do enough to stop Ryan Basecott as he Stormbringer's under the turret. Now Ogmish has called in the hunt. They're chasing down King Rolly. You wanted them to run at the enemy, and they're doing just that as King Rolly used the Solar Flare to disengage. It was an overload on the top side. A great look from Ryan Basecott, and the Madman's TP was excellent. Zacian, though, is going to take the first tower in the bottom lane, I think, before the turret crashes. So
that's very key.
Oh, actually, Feats of Strength actually already went over to the Whale Rider, so I guess it doesn't matter that much, but it is a bit of extra gold for him. It looks like the Tier 2 is going to get taken down here, though, for the Madman in this top side.
Yeah, Cho'Gath is able to take that down.
A huge amount of gold to the top jungle.
And, yeah, bottom lane, Tier 2 turret is untouched there on the blue side. Because the set did have to back before Aurora showed up. Aurora is quite strong.
Volibear, he is not tanky.
Yeah, Volibear definitely not tanky in this game yet. Has a couple hundred health from the Cosmic Drive, and that is it. If they are in a sustained fight, though, again, Volibear is quite tanky with the shield and heal spam that they're able to get with their cooldown reduction, but in a team fight or in a burst scenario, Volibear is not as tanky as he would like to be. Set taking some hurt from the Aurora, does have to back off. Oh, we got an engage here, questioning to call Zac a tank at this point, but is going to be able to make some play here. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're seeing the gank. Sorry, I think my mic cut out, but we see a great gank from Frozen Ace, jumping from the Elastic Slingshot from downtown, and Zacian comes back up to clean the kill. So nice roam from King Rolly. They got the shutdown on John. Can they make anything happen with this mid laner dead? Dragon is up soon.
Yeah, but Aurora does have teleport, so if they are able to provide like any sort of contest, Aurora will be there in time. and it looks like they are able to zone them a little bit here.
Yeah, the key thing is that Zachfair still is not on second item when Volibear's on 2 items. So is, I think Aurora will likely be there. This Caitlyn has not hit that power spike, that critical mass yet that makes her so dangerous in these fights. Without that second item, I don't know how she's going to do enough damage to get through the front line. Frozen Ace is still at 1 item. Zacian is just on 2. He's the only one of the only players with 2 items.
Yeah,
Ryan
but that's
Basegun
where
has so
Gage
much
is kind
farm.
of like is very, very strong if he's able to go in and
Engage onto Dawn. He's caught up. The flash justice, but the taunt onto multiple members. Actually, just onto 1 as Zachfair is trying to deal the damage, and the ricochet's going through. The entire team just gets ripped apart. Leona dies there as we see a silence on his ass, and he tries to go for the haymaker. It doesn't hit anyone with the sweet spot, and he's just gonna get eaten by the Cho'Gath. That is 3rd Dragon. That is soul points. As we see, John wants to keep this play going. Gets a full combo on the Zachfair. Zachfair trying to fire back with the headshot. Flashes, but he still gets hit with the Between Worlds. A heartbreaker again for this team that is going so far down. It seems like they cannot catch a break.
Yeah, just running out of damage. The big engage, but if that's what you get off of your big engage, I think that the rest of this game is looking very dire for Team Nautilus.
Very dire indeed, as it's the Otacon being killed here right at 20 minutes by the team of Whale Riders. This team has just had unmatched control over the objectives. We see a very deep TP from Zacian. He's into multiple members, gets stunned, gets knocked up. He's taking so much damage. Can he get the haymaker shield? He finally pops it, but he gets bonked out. A huge haymaker does a lot of damage, but it's not enough. Zacian is now taken low. Frozen Ace, can he get in there? A hero's entrance from the Galio. Winter, can he peel for his team? Gets the knockup. Can he get the taunt? He gets the taunt, but the unstoppable Stormbringer sends him in. Zachfair finally appears in the fight. It's a 4v3 now, but now King Rolly just getting eviscerated by the claws and the jaws as no kill is traded back. Zacian and Frozen Ace just die for nothing as they burn the TP as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, Caitlyn doesn't really contribute over the wall there. Goes for the ult, doesn't get the kill with it, and is just, yeah, not able to auto, unfortunately, over top of that wall.
No autos indeed, as John's looking for him, hits the full combo. He's taken so low. I think a full combo of the, the twofold hex into the witching just takes Zachfair out almost instantly. Zach is on 2 items though. I don't know how they're going to come back in this game. It's a 7k deficit, soul point, and Otacon.
Yeah, I think what they need to look for are some picks, some proactive Galio ults, not the reactive ones where they're trying to save a teammate, be going for engages, overload a side of the map, and just try and make some plays. Because, if you do have Galio and Zach jumping on top of someone, together they do have enough damage to burst down like an Aurora or a Sivir, or a Poppy even, considering Poppy is basically full armor at this point in the game. So they do have some avenues, but they're getting fewer and further between.
Fewer and further between indeed, as Winter's getting bullied by John. John is nearly, he's on 2.5 items now. The gold deficit is massive. You have to find an overload somewhere. I think King Rolly's been doing their best, doing a very great job looking for ganks, had secured a couple kills, but again, the damage problem that we keep bringing up because it's so prevalent, you do not have any way to kill the Cho'Gath or the Volibear. They're both 5, 0 and 6, and 3, 0 and 6 respectively. Winter just getting run down by this police bear. As we see, he's fully stacked lethal tempo. The Frenzied Maul does so much damage. Winter underneath the turret. Can he get the phase rush? We see the Piltover Peacemaker dealing some damage, but it's doing nothing. As we see a huge Keeper's Verdict send out 2. The overload on the top side doesn't do enough, as Winter just gets ran down by the Volibear. Ryan Basegon, nearly 200 farms, 6 kills, 3 items. This Polar Bear is unstoppable.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about with the Volibear. If it's a 1v1, he can 1v1 basically anybody on the Rift right now. And that is what we just witnessed. It wasn't so much a fight as it was a massacre, but that is the power of the Volibear.
See a gank onto the Madman. He dodged the elastic slingshot, but the Let's Bounce does good damage. Zacian, can he get the stun with the Showstopper? He does not choose to use it. He's charging up the Haymaker, but the Madman is not dying. He's turning this into 2v1. He eats the Zaka, a nice jelly dessert, just free for him in the 2v1. Now Atomic Waldo has the Summoner Spellbook Teleport, runs it in. The Showstopper is used onto Atomic Waldo, but he barely takes any damage. The charge into the wall after the flash, and the Madman turns around a 2v1 with the help of his support. It is untenable now, this situation, as there is no remorse for anyone on the Rift right now for Nautilus. They cannot overload a side lane. They cannot win the team fights. It's going to be a slow, suffocating victory for the side of Whale Riders unless Nautilus pull out a miracle.
Yeah, not sure what they thought would happen there. Who was gonna take out the, like, 4,000 health Cho'Gath set with his teamfight build, or the half AP Zac. I think that this one is very out of the game right now, Team Nautilus is.
I think they just have to go for a desperation play and overload like 5 members while the Aurora's in bot lane. That's the only thing I can think of, as Ryan Base God just mauling King Rolly. As we see in the backline, Atomic Waldo is stopping the engage as King Rolly is just getting ripped apart, and this Volibear is taking no damage. Zacian's in the backline as Atomic Waldo is trying to get a kill, but it just can't do anything. Frozen Ace is here, and now Aurora is here as well, just dealing so much damage. The 2-man taunt does nothing as Zac Bear just gets run down by the Cho'Gath. One more auto will kill him. Everyone's just getting ripped to shreds. It is a massacre on the side of Team Nautilus as Zac Bear is the only one alive. One more Weirding puts him to pieces. It is a clean 5-0 ace. It looks like nothing can stop this team of Team Whale Riders from 6th place in the regular season to 1st place likely in this entire tournament. Can they end the game here?
It's looking like they're gonna try. Leona's up now, sets up in 10 seconds. I don't really see what stops them.
Hey, King Rolly's the soul support. It's 3 Void Grubs. It's a 5-man push onto the base, 26 minutes. It's the fastest game of the series so far. Zacian is back up. King Rolly goes in, tries to distract, tries to clear the wave. Zacian gets a huge showstopper onto multiple members. The stun, but the Haymaker just does nothing. This Elastic Slingshot into the backline. Frozen Ace is throwing his body at the team. Zacian, Sterex pop, multi-man taunt does something. They get a kill onto Aurora. Zac Bear is back now. Can he do enough damage? A huge Stormbringer gets a double kill for this Volibear. Ryan Base God is just mauling them. They tried valiantly, but in the end it did not amount to much. In a 26-6 victory, it is going to be a 3-0 clean sweep for Forge Whale Riders, who are your first ever Prime Meta League champions.